Good morning, family and friends. Today is Tuesday, March 26, 2024. I am back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Forgive me for the truck running, but we're busy right now and I can't shut it off to make this video. But I still need to make it. So, bear with me. I know the noise in the background, but this is how I started off doing them and everything worked out, so yeah, appreciate you. So this one is about the border. And we the people with common sense can plainly see that something is wrong with the border. We see it all the time. We hear about it. We see it. We see the immigrants everywhere. And we're wondering what's wrong with our politicians. Why won't they shut the border down? They see we have a problem, a major problem, right? At least we think so. At least we think we have a problem. But who is it a problem for is the question. It's a problem, but for who? That's the question. And the politicians are playing politic games like they always play. They are pitting us against each other. Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. They got us out here bickering amongst each other. It's the Democrat fault. No, it's the Republican fault. It's Trump. It's Biden. It's Democrat. It's Republican. It's conservative. It's liberal. I hate you. That's what we out here doing. While they sitting back looking like, look at them. They still don't get it. Talking about us. They still don't get it. They know that the border wide open. From Democrat in office to Republican in office, same thing. Republican want to blame Democrats. Democrat want to blame Republicans. But this problem been going on for decades through each party in power. Democrat or Republican, it don't change. But we still out here fighting amongst each other. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's Trump, it's Biden. The truth is, it's both of them. They want the borders wide open the way they are. America was built. See, there's a thing called a foundation, right? However you build your foundation on a home or whatever, you got to maintain that foundation the way it was built. Let me repeat that. Any builders out here, people in construction or whatever, when you build a home, you got to have a solid foundation. And whatever that foundation is that you build a house upon, you got to maintain that foundation the same way you built it. You got to keep it like that, or the house gonna crumble. Let me repeat that. However you build that house on that foundation, however the foundation is, however you laid it out, the foundation of that home has to be maintained the way it was built, or the house gonna fall. So, now let's look at our country and its foundation, how it was built. This country was built on the foundation of slave labor, free labor. That's how this country's wealth was built. Started off with slavery. That's the foundation. So if it was built on the foundation of slavery, that foundation has to be maintained in order for that country to survive. So, if you look back in history, the people that fought to maintain slavery, it wasn't just about race. It was about the survival of the country, because they knew the country was built on slavery. You get rid of slavery, which is the foundation, the country gonna crumble, because it wasn't built another way. The foundation wasn't built on equality. It was built on slave labor, right? So now fast forward, slavery has been abolished, or has it? No, it hasn't. Our foundation is still ran on slave labor. All the difference is the slaves get a little pay instead of dead free. They give us just enough to keep us working. Not enough to become free, but enough just to keep you coming back to be a slave. The way slavery was based, where you had a slave master and you had slaves, it's the same way it is today. Your boss is a slave master and you are the slave. Ain't nothing changed. The only difference is, instead of for free, they give you a little bit more than free. They pay you, so they say. But they pay you the least amount they can pay you to get you to work. They're not gonna pay you the most. They're gonna pay you the least amount. That's the purpose of unions, why unions are popular. Because they know this. And that's why people always complain about wanting to raise, because you know you ain't making enough. They know it too. That's the whole design. Because if they paid you a decent, fair wage, the country would crumble. Because it's built on slave labor. People working for free. Making it possible for the upper people to borrow the slave master. Down here is the slave. And then your manager, which is, he don't own the company, he's just a manager, he's the overseer. The exact same setup as slavery. Master, overseer, slave. Modern day, worker, manager, owner. Slave master, overseer, slave. Employee, supervisor, manager, overseer, owner, boss, slave master. Same foundation. Same foundation. They know they got to keep it like that or America won't stand. So now, you might say, well, big, what they got to do with the illegal immigrants and the border being wide open? I'm glad you asked. What's been happening is the American people, the American slave, is rebelling. Like the slave did, Nat Turner and all on back in the day. A slave rebellion, a revolt. The American slave is saying, we want freedom. We don't want to be slaves no more. So the American slave, which is us, I'm working to try to get out of slavery, that's why I'm independent, whatever, trying to be my own master. Other people are doing the same thing. The other slaves are like, hold on. I'm not working for minimum wage. That ain't enough. I can't even pay my bills, which is how they want it. Because if you can't pay your bills, you can't get ahead, you got to keep coming back. You won't leave the plantation. They pay you too much, you're going to leave the plantation. Everybody will be leaving the plantation if they made enough to be independent. See, back in the day, during slavery, a few slaves either escaped or they saved up money to buy their freedom. They either escaped or saved up enough money to buy their freedom. But the majority of slaves didn't make enough to buy their freedom. And it was designed like that. The few that were able to do it, they were exceptional, had a plan, discipline, stuck to it. The majority of people ain't got it like that. Fast forward to today, same thing. Some of us escaped the plantation, buy our own freedom, start your own business, buy your freedom, work for yourself, start your own business, save up enough money to get off the plantation. But the majority of people don't. They stay on the plantation, making just enough to keep them coming back to where they have to come back. It's a system. It's by design. So what's been happening is the American slaves say, enough, we're done. It's another revolution. The powers that be see that. Democrats and Republicans. They're both rich people. Business owning people, corporation owning people. That's answering to other corporations and business owning people. In other words, the Democrats are slave masters, the Republicans are slave masters, and the people they answer to are other slave masters, and they're looking out for the best interest of the slave master. The Democrat and Republican slave masters. They're both one and the same. They pretend to be divided to give us something to divide us with. I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, we can't get it? There is no Democrat or Republican for real. We're the Democrats and Republicans, not them. They together. They just doing the WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it, pretending like they're against each other. So we'll be against each other. We pick a side and we blame each other. We blame the other one. That's all that is. That's theater, baby. It ain't real. There's no Democrat or Republican. It's just a title that they use to keep the illusion going that they're against each other when they're really working together to keep us on the plantation. Because they know if the slaves can't unite, they can't form a revolution. They can't revolt. They can't buck. We got to keep the slaves divided. How do we divide them? By race and by political designation. I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican. That one over there wrong. Voila, we still slaves. But not so fast, my friend. Some of us, a lot of us, the majority of us are waking up saying, I can't take this no more. I had enough. I'm tired of being a slave. I want my freedom. So now you got people at McDonald's and just the lowest menial job on $15 an hour. The institution of slavery can't survive paying the slaves enough money to buy their freedom. They cannot afford, the foundation of America cannot afford, which was built on slavery, cannot afford to pay the slaves enough to buy their freedom. They won't have any more slaves. All the slaves, because every slave, once he gets enough money to buy his freedom, guess what he gonna do? Buy his freedom. So what they do is, they need new slaves. Because they know that the current crop of slaves that woke up, and they ain't gonna be able to be dependent on much longer. The American slave is losing its value to the slave master. And they can't do nothing about it. It's happening. There will be a revolution of the American slave where we ain't gonna be slaves no more. We're tired of it. A lot of people just refuse to work than to work for that minimum wage. So what they do is, they need new slaves. It ain't got nothing to do with the Democrat won't do voters. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with that. It's all about new slaves. Nothing else. Follow the money. Follow the foundation. America was built on slavery, and it got to stand on slavery. You cannot change that system. If you change it, America as we know it would never be the same. So they got to maintain slavery. the system of slavery, which is a boss, slave master, overseer, which is the manager, slave, which is employee. Don't get it twisted just because they paying you a few dollars that you ain't still a slave. It's the same thing. Because they only paying you enough just for you to come back. Just for enough where they ain't got to buy the rags you wear. You buy your own rags. They ain't provide you the roof over your head. They give you enough, just a little bit to pay for your own roof. But that's all you get. Food, roof, something to eat. Same thing they gave the slaves. Food, roof over their head, something to eat. Even though it was scrap, we wasn't eating what they was eating, and the worker ain't eating what the boss eat. The worker ain't living where the boss living. Get it? These immigrants are the new slaves. They're replacing us, the old slave that woke up and decided we don't want to be slaves no more. But they can't let it in, or America gonna end. So that's why the border's wide open. They let these people flood in because they need them to be slaves. Them people just come over here to volunteer to be slaves, and they don't even know. And where they come from so bad, they don't even care. They'd rather be a slave than continue on where they was over there. At least over here as a slave in America, they can eat, have a roof over their head, clothes on their back. That's enough for them compared to where they came from. That's why the border wide open. Then all of a sudden, here come Mr. Trump throwing a monkey wrench in their plan because he finna send all of them back. He finna close the border down, build a wall. Y'all can't come over here. He see what's going on. He really believed in America first. So guess what? They slaughtered him. They slandered him. The black people been loving Trump for 30, 40 years. As soon as he come over here to be president and shut down the border, they don't care about him being no racist. They got nothing to do with that. It's the border. It's why he's under attack over here. They got nothing to do with him being a racist. Nothing to do with him. No real estate deals in New York and all that. He's been doing that forever. They never had no problem with him. All this coming up now by him trying. If he never would have ran for president and trying to shut that border down, we wouldn't hear nothing about that real estate deal in New York. We wouldn't hear nothing about no Stormy Daniels, no payout money for no prostitute. We wouldn't have heard about none of that. It's all about him being president, throwing a monkey wrench in the slavery system by shutting that border down, stopping illegal immigration. That's the only reason they at him like that, because he's the only one that was really going to do something about that. Don't let Biden fool you. Obama, Bush, any Republican, any Democrat, none of them was going to do nothing about that border. They're all in the same plan. Trump was an outlier. That's why you got Democrats and Republicans coming against him. The Republicans don't even like Trump, his own party. When has that ever been? Because the Democrats and Republicans are in cahoots. Donald Trump, like him or not, racist or not, he was going against their plan of all them immigrants coming in here. You ain't got to agree with me. Research it. All them years Trump been around, when he none of these criminal charges until now. These charges they bringing on him now, especially in New York, this stuff that he been doing 30, 40 years. Why now? Why they bringing up them charges now? Y'all better wake up and open your eyes, man. We're going to still be around here bickering amongst each other, Democrat and Republican, while they still at the top. Democrats and Republicans benefiting off slavery, which is us. Wake up. Get it? Got it? Good. Bye.